Hey guys, today I am talking about how I helped Jen, a working mom of two, lose 60 pounds in a year and a half without leaving her house. Now, this is important to her. She did not want to go to a gym. She did not even have a lot to work with at home. And she's busy, right? She's a mom of two. So if you relate to that, definitely follow along, watch the video because it could definitely help you as well be the person who sees the results without even leaving home. So, I'm in this video, I'm taking you through a step-by-step process on exactly how we did this and how she's kept it off for good. And this is for any moms who are really struggling to prioritize making time for yourself in order to hit the fitness goals you really want to achieve. And if this is you, make sure you close all those tabs and pay attention because I am going to take you through exactly how we did this. So when I met Jen, she was looking to lose around 60 pounds and she struggled with nerve pain in her side from an old injury that wasn't going away no matter what they tried. And her doctor mentioned that losing weight could help alleviate some of the pain and also told her that they don't recommend her lifting more than 10 pounds. So this part you may not relate to, but this story will show you how easy it can actually be. Like the steps weren't that hard. It was just the hard part really is believing in yourself, having the mindset to back it up, and staying consistent when things get hard. So, by the end of the program together, her pain was much more manageable. She was able to do things she didn't think she'd be able to do again. She was lifting more than 10 pounds regularly. So, she did not just lose the weight, she completely changed her life. And about me, I have a similar story to Jen. I did not have any, pain stopping me from going to the gym, but I also had 60 to 70 pounds to lose when I started. And I did start with home workouts as well. I found myself through fitness and just like Jen, investing in myself completely changed my life. And for me, it also led me to discover that this was my true passion and purpose. And I went on to change hundreds of women's lives for the better. And I've gone through a long-term weight loss journey 3 times now, once in university and twice postpartum after struggling with pregnancy and gaining all the weight I had lost back. And I have been a coach for over 8 years now and have helped hundreds of women reach their goals. And I have, just for credentials, have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Human Nutrition, and I am a certified personal trainer. So when Jen first came to me, she was often taking Tylenol and naproxen to get through her workday. She's a lab instructor, so her job wasn't overly strenuous, but it was a lot of time on her feet and carrying like moderate amount of weight throughout the day as well. If you ever, took a science lab in university, they are 3 hours long and you're, walking around, you're doing things. And it was a daily struggle for her because of the pain, or, some days were better than others, but a lot of the time she was taking Tylenol and naproxen just to get through the day, which definitely isn't, sustainable long term or isn't great long term. And there's a lot of things she could no longer do without lifting, 10 pounds. She couldn't really reach to paint, or she couldn't do things like shoveling, and she was limited to the fun, active activities that she was able to do with her two kids. And her kids are a little bit older, so it was a little bit, easier than managing a toddler with this kind of injury. But when they're like, I think when she started, they were like 9 and 11, 10 and 12. And at that age, you want to be able to participate in a lot of like fun outdoor activities with them. Stuff like going to activate, wasn't really an option for her. And she, after getting in better shape and getting stronger. Spent a lot of time the first summer working together, playing Pokemon Go with her younger kid and, doing lots of walking around and not being in pain. So it really did change a lot of things in her life for the better. So she now doesn't take Tylenol and naproxen daily. She spends her summers outdoors with her kids, being able to do the fun activities that she had missed. She managed to paint her whole house, like climbing up and down a step ladder and reaching over her head, and something she wasn't able to do before that she was really happy she could do. She did feel a little soreness afterwards, but just her being able to do it, made her so happy and showed her how much stronger she had become and how much less pain she was experiencing. And even helping shovel this past year, I have never met someone who's truly so excited to be able to shovel their driveway, right? It's really true that you don't appreciate what your body can do until it can't do it. And luckily for Jen, she was able to just through nutrition and movement lose the weight, build up strength, and be able to do pretty much anything she could do prior to the injury. So, how we actually did this. So, step-by-step process. The first thing we did, since she said she couldn't lift more than 10 pounds, was we strictly focused on tweaking her nutrition and walking. That is it. She had like, she started with just 30 minutes in the beginning. She was a little extra sore from those 30-minute walks. It might have actually been less than 30 minutes. The 2 years are over now. So I'm trying to recall what we did. I know that we did start with just nutrition and walking. I can't remember exactly how much. They might have even been 20 minutes. But this is the point. Small changes really do add up. So after 3 to 4 months of just that, she was down 25 pounds, and we decided to step it up a notch. We did some light dumbbell and resistance band work while continuing with the walks and increasing the length of the walks. She had a treadmill at home, which is definitely convenient. She was able to do some work in the evening or watch TV while getting some more steps in. And we just made adjustments to our plan as she went. So we started with very low weights, resistance bands, or body weights for the workouts, and ended up working up to higher weights while really paying attention to how she felt. Anything that, aggravated the pain, we kind of just took out. We would swap in something else and see if it worked better. And we just continued to tweak exercises, increase their weights or increase the reps, increase the step goal, and tweak nutrition until she had lost 60 pounds. And what that looked like for her, and what it generally looks like for most people, is eating more, actually. Less takeout, more things cooked at home, but generally more food, um, and more protein for sure. Most people don't eat enough protein, and protein is what's going to help, you know, help you get stronger, help you build some muscle, help you maintain the muscle you already have, and help increase your metabolism. Because the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories your body is going to burn. And that's why, when you have a like fit friend who, has some muscle, works out regularly, you see them like eat large quantities of food and you think they were like built that way. And like some people, built a lot of muscle playing sports in their youth and, stay pretty active as an adult and have maintained that muscle mass and maintained the ability to eat large amount of foods. But a lot of women don't. And it's hard to build muscle and maintain muscle. And typically we're told to, move more and eat less. But generally, most people who come to me are eating too low to lose weight. And we end up having to actually increase it. So we worked back up to maintenance calories. We worked together for 2 years total. So she was hovering around her goal weight at the year and a half, slightly before a year and a half mark. And she decided to continue for another 6 months to get to that 2 year point and to really learn how to work her calories back up and, keep those habits going long term while having more balance, right? Because when you're in a weight loss phase, you can do things like go out, drink, eat out, but you can't really do them frequently if you want to continue seeing progress. But once you are at your goal, you can have a little bit more balance than that. You could have like a weekly meal cheat. I don't like calling them cheat meals, okay? Because it's not like black and white to me. It's not like good food, bad food, but like a meal out or like a meal where she doesn't track. Like you can do that more often when you're maintaining and once you have the muscle mass on your body. Um, so the last 6 months, we were really just like working into that mindset of how to sustain these results for life and, how you can eat a little bit more and, continue keeping up with your habits at the same time and have that extra balance that you really want to have long term. And she has kept it off. We stopped working together about 4 months ago, and she is still crushing it, still getting her steps in, still doing her home workouts, and still eating in a way that aligns with her and keeps her at this healthy weight. With all the resources, plans, and support that I gave Jenn, all she had to do was show up. Know it's not always going to be perfect, because it never is, and commit to learning and doing her best, knowing that if she did that, I would continue to coach her until she reached the end goal, because that's what I do in my programs. My programs are results guaranteed. So I lay out like this is what healthy weight loss looks like. If you commit for this amount of time, you will lose this much weight, and I will continue working with you. I will continue working with you until you get to that point, even if it takes a little bit more time, because everyone's different. It may take a little more time for some than others, but if you're showing up consistently and actually putting the work in, like most of the time, because like I said, it's not going to be perfect. I'm never going to expect you to be perfect. I will continue working with you until you get there. And as a busy working mom, not having to think about what you need to do and when you need to do it and how you're going to do it and all the logistics behind what I plan is so huge. It takes such a weight off your mental load to just open an app, see what you need to do today, and like have your plan set out for the week. So, I'm doing this on this day, I'm doing this on this day. You can put them into your calendar, you can have them set for specific times that work best for you, and then you just need to show up. That's it. And when you take all of that thought work out of it, it really becomes more simple, more simplified, right? It's never going to be easy, but we want to make it as simple as possible. So the hardest thing, the only thing that is left to be hard, because the only thing that you now have to think about is showing up and putting in the work. And you still have me for that, right? You have my accountability along the way and my support for whenever you're not feeling motivated to give you the kick in the butt you need to get back at it. So if you relate to Jen's story, even if you don't have, an injury preventing you from going to the gym, but like if you don't have the time, you want to work out at home and you relate to some aspects of Jen's story, this is for you, okay? If you struggled with your confidence and your energy levels in the past, not seeing the results you want, trying the fad diets, you feel like you're so busy taking care of everybody else that you don't have time to take care of yourself, and you want to feel more capable. You want to be stronger. You want to be able to keep up with your kids as they grow. And you want to be able to do it from the comfort of your own home. I'm here to tell you that it is possible and you can change the narrative. And my mission is to help busy moms find little pockets of time for yourself. No matter how small, you don't even need to be by yourself. Okay. Sometimes I work out at home with my kids just running around, climbing all over me. It's not ideal and I don't like to do it all the time, but you do what you have to do when you prioritize yourself and your health. and really just pouring back into yourself. Like a lot of people tell me they're tired, they don't have the energy. This gives you energy. This allows you to do more and to be more and to be the person you really want to be and to finally feel confident in your own skin and have the mental energy and physical energy that you need to keep up with your kids. Because let's be real, you need a lot of physical and mental energy to keep up with growing kids. And you don't have to do it alone. I'm here to help. So if this resonated with you, click the link below and book your free call so that we can have a chat.